So I'm going to call this question a graph question, just because all the answer choices are written as graphs, and because that's where the visual is, it might be very useful to answer this question based upon some of the visual input or output of the graphs that are provided. So we start off by knowing that f of x is equal to 2 to the x plus 1. Don't forget, you can just write that as, or think of that as y equals 2 to the x plus, oops, I'm writing this incorrectly, 2 to the x, and then plus 1, 2 to the x, and then plus 1. So the function f is defined by the equation above. Which of the following is the graph of y equals negative f of x? So y equals negative f of x. Well, what is negative f of x? Negative f of x would just be the negative of the 2x plus 1, which gives us negative 2 to the x minus 1. So then what we actually have here is like a y equals negative 2 to the x minus 1. And we just want to know which one of these graphs fits this particular equation. So the easiest way to do this without having a graphing calculator really is to look at some main points here. Each of these graphs crosses the y-axis, right? So basically each of them have a y-intercept. So I'm going to go find that y-intercept because that'll help me narrow down my options. So the way we find a y-intercept is finding what the y value is when x equals 0. So let's see. When x equals 0, I'd have y equals negative 2 to the 0 minus 1. Negative 2 to the 0, so the way we do this is we say, well, what's the number here? It's a 2 to the 0 power is 1, but then the negative sign just comes down with it, okay? It's not the same as if I had negative 2 in parentheses to 0 power, where that would be, well, it doesn't matter what's here, right? To the 0 power becomes a positive 1. So we don't have parentheses in this one. So that's a negative 1, and then I have another minus 1 from here. So y equals this, and therefore y equals negative 2. So that means that I should have the point 0, comma, negative 2 in the graph that's the correct answer. So because of that, A is gone, B is gone, and D is gone, and therefore C has to be the correct answer. So it can really be just that easy because we're treating this like, we're using the strategy of graph. We're saying, hey, the answer is right in front of me. It's visual. So if I can figure out some main points here, that's all that really matters. That's all that really matters for me. So the fact that we know 0, negative 2 must be the y-intercept immediately gets us to the right answer.